Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, as you can see by today's playmat, we are going to be doing a deck update of one of my most favorite decks of all time, and the flagship deck of this channel, my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Now, I've been playtesting this deck a lot ever since the last ban list came out, and in addition to that, I played this deck a lot last year, and as we're getting into the new year, I'm super excited to play this deck, and it dawned upon me, you know, if you guys know the story of these three Blue Eyes White Dragons in my deck, these are some of the original Blue Eyes White Dragons I got when my grandmother took me to Toys R Us to get the structure decks all those years ago, and it dawned upon me that this coming year will be 19 years that I've had these Blue Eyes White Dragons. Thank you to my dad, who said when I got home after getting those structure decks, hey, make sure you put them in card sleeves and take care of the things you care about. Thank you for those words of wisdom, Dad. Very, very, very awesome words of wisdom, and may my dad rest in peace, as this year will mark his 5th year of him passing. But, you know, I still have all those memories from as a kid, and I still love this deck, and I always come back to it because it's the deck that keeps me in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because how much I love it, how much you guys enjoy these videos of me doing Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profiles. So thank you to Blue Eyes White Dragon for first off getting me into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And keeping me in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For all these years and for all the memories. So without further ado, guys, let us get into today's deck profile. Sorry for getting a little sentimental there for a minute. But first we run our 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. The legendary dragon is a powerful engine of destruction, virtually invincible. Very few have faced this awesome creature and lived to tell the tale, except me, Seto Kaiba. I had to do a simply unlucky moment, forgive me. But yeah, our 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, he's still a beat stick in 2021, still can be used for synchros and exceeds and some link plays as well, depending upon how you build this deck. I'm going to say this as we get into the profile, guys. Everybody plays their Blue Eyes White Dragon deck a little bit differently than everybody else. Some people play it as a super combo intensive deck, some play it more as of just a fun deck, and they have different tech options. I always see different versions of Blue Eyes White Dragon, be it in the extra deck, main deck, whatever. No 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon decks are usually identical, and this comes from multiple experiences and all the comments I've gotten for years on this channel. So just saying that if your deck is different, hey, that's perfectly fine. I hope it's working out for you, and I hope it's doing good. This is what's been working for me, and hopefully it maybe gives you some ideas. So next up, we run 3 Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. I've seen very combo intensive Blue Eyes White Dragon decks right now, running just 2 of it because it can become bricky. I get that. I understand that. I get that mentality, but he's still a staple as a 3 of. He's really good in the fusion version still of the deck, still decent in the ritual version, really good in this deck because he can still facilitate level 8 exceed plays, put pressure on the board, and also get rid of problematic cards on the board as well. So still a staple 3 of in my opinion, but I get why people are running it as a 2 of nowadays. But I like it as a 3 of still. Next we run 1 Dragon Spirit of White. As I've seen more back row heavy decks, I will admit I did in playtesting for the new format a while ago. Try him at 2 of. I decided to cut him back down to 1 of. But I understand if you're playing your Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, you run into a lot of back rows. Maybe you run it as a 2 of in case it gets banished, etc. But me personally, he's still really good as a 1 of, and he puts in work against back row heavy decks like amazingly well even today. So staple 1 of in the deck. Also level 8 can help you go for exceed plays as well. Really good card. Next we run 3 Sage with the Eyes of Blue. Sage is your searcher for the deck, as you guys know. You're pretty much Stratos card for the deck. He searches out a majority of your White Stone of Legend eggs, as well as Effect Veiler if you're still running it. So you can search out your White Stone of the Ancients, your White Stone of Legend, and if you still run Effect Veiler, guys, hey, you can still search out that one obligatory Effect Veiler, or another one if you run multiple. But still a good card in this deck. He's more useful nowadays, I find, with Needle Fiber being out in the game for almost a year now, aka Halkir Falbrax. I can't pronounce the thing, but you guys know what he's called. The freaking level 2 Link, that's really amazing. This guy. So he's more useful nowadays, I find. There was a time I saw people run him as a 2 of. I said, no, he's still a staple 3 of, and haven't seen any problems since. And really good card. He's one of your main normal summonable monsters in the deck, in my opinion. Next we run our 3 White Stone of the Ancients. If you guys are wondering why I'm going fast through this deck, it's because just about everybody knows what Blue Eyes White Dragon does. If you're getting back into the game, you can if you read the cards, you'll pretty much understand how everything works. But 3 Whitestone of the Ancients, still a staple 3 of in my opinion, and the 1 obligatory, we'll say, Whitestone of Legend. I will say again, in some very combo-intensive Blue Eyes White Dragon decks, I still see multiple Whitestone of Legend, which is perfectly fine. I tried it out against a buddy of mine online and in real life for about a week and a half, and I'm going to be honest with you, I quickly cut it because I found I was bricking a lot with the cards, so I put it back down to 1 of. Haven't bricked as much, so it's up to you, depending upon how you want to build your Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, like I said at the beginning of this video. One card that I'm really loving in this deck more and more this past year, and even as we're going into the new year, is Double Neberu Dragon. This card is, in my opinion, an honorary Blue Eyes White Dragon card. It made for this deck in a way, I'm going to say. Very useful for help going for rank 8 Exceed plays. In addition to that, just a very useful card in Grave to get things back from Grave. Just a great card. I mean, the only downside of it is it's not 3,000 attack that can be searched through Melody. But, I mean, hey, like, it's still a great card. It can help do crazy combo plays and things of that nature. I'm hoping it gets a rarity bump to like a super or something in the future, maybe in an OTS pack, you know, or a tournament pack, etc. Because it really deserves it. It's really a great card, and it's kind of become a really nice card in this deck. I used to run this as a 1 of, now I'm running it as a 2 of, because of just how decent it is and how good it is in this deck nowadays, I feel like. So definitely a staple 2 of. If you're not running it, I definitely say try it out. 1 Chaos Dragon Levenier, definitely a great card for Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Number 1, it can be searched out through Melody of Awakened Dragons, so that's why I run it as a 1 of. Again, in some combo-intensive builds, I see this as a 2 of. It does take some setup in some regards, so that's why I still like it as a 1 of, because A, it's searchable, and B, it does take setup. But it's still a powerful card in this deck to help do different things, and is easy to get out. Very good, powerful, aka I would say an additional boss monster, but it can be used for a multitude of different things in this deck. So 1 Chaos Dragon Levenier. We also running 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, aka Doesn't Matter Dragon, and 1 Starlight Safer. Starlight Safer is something that I've gone back and forth with throughout the past year almost. With this card, I like it, and then I take it out, and then I put it back in, and it goes back and forth in Blue Eyes Red Dragon. For now, he's in the deck as a 1 of. He's a good staple 1 of in my opinion. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is really easy to get out in this deck and really abusable. I really do like him. He helps do different things for the deck and is a very powerful card for this deck in a nutshell. So I do like him as a 1 of. So these are just all additional 1 ofs that are just decent in the deck that are really powerful. So next we run for some hand traps. I run 2 Neberu, the Primordial Being. I do not like it as a triple. It bricks. I also won 1 Effect Failure because it's searchable. If it was not searchable, there was probably a likelihood I would not run it. If you do not want to run these cards and you'd rather run Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, go right ahead, be my guest. That is something I have run multiple times in the past. And you can play around with the ratios in my deck to maybe run more hand traps, maybe run certain cards that you like running in every single deck of yours. That's perfectly fine. The core of the deck functions well, and you know, the hand traps, etc., and other little tech options you can change around, and your deck will function perfectly to your playing style and how you like to play Blue Eyes White Dragon. So just keep an open mind. But this is what I've been running for hand traps, and it's been working well for me. I always seem to find myself going second, which is aka why I'm running Neberu. Next we run 3 Melody of the Awakened Dragons. Still a great searchable card you can use for this deck. Do not forget, in addition to searching out your Blue Eyes Alternative and your Blue Eyes White Dragon, like I said earlier, you can also search out your Chaos Dragon Levenier with this card, which is really useful. So it has a lot more uses in this deck than it used to have now that we run this card. So really good card, staple 3 of in the deck. Really love the artwork. It's probably my favorite artwork in the Blue Eyes White Dragon archetype. It's Lord of D playing a guitar, of a Blue Eyes White Dragon guitar. Just so cool. Next we run 3 Trade-In, staple. We run a lot of level 8s. If they brick, we can pitch them. We like them engraved sometimes. Sometimes we get additional effects. Sometimes we can set up for additional plays. Staple card. 1 Cards of Coincidence. I like this just as a 1 of. I know some people like it at multiple. Me, I like it as a 1 of. It's good if you brick. You can use it as an unbricked card. You can use certain, go normal summon Sage, search a stone, pitch it, draw 2 cards. It's really useful, just a good one of, I find. And some people like multiple, but that depends upon how many stones you're running. If you're running multiple Legend of Blue Eyes, then maybe you run multiple of this. It's up to you. Next up, we run 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. You're going to see a lot of cards that bring things back from the grave because we send a lot of things to grave. Return of the Dragon Lords is probably going to be your main one to bring back your big boys. Also in grave, you can banish it to give protection. We also won 1 Silver's Cry. It's really nice. Against back row heavy decks, you can also bring back, like I was saying earlier, you can also bring back your Dragon Spirit of Right, which you can abuse and banish stuff with. So it's good in that aspect. So overall, these are some of your main Reborn cards, but there are other things that we do run in this deck. So let's keep going on. In addition to these Reborn cards, guys, we run 2 the World Legacy Guard Dragon. I like this card as a 2 of in the deck. Some people like it as a 3 of. That's perfectly fine. I have gone back and forth with cutting it. I find that nowadays I'm sending a lot of my dragons to grave. And once you see my extra deck, maybe you'll start to understand why I'm running this card. I will say, though, that I am kind of on the fence about running it as a 3 of, as it does take some setup. And I was having instances when I was running it as a 3 of bricking really bad. And I decided to cut it down to 2 of, make space for other cards, and I haven't looked back since. So that's up to you to decide how you want to run it, because this is kind of more of a combo-esque Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, not completely. You don't want to brick, is what I'm trying to say, and you want to make sure you have a good balance of cards. Dragon Shrine and Foolish Burial I like. Some people like double Dragon Shrine. That is fine. I like the one Foolish because I can just send anything, really. And the one Dragon Shrine is good. You brick, you have Dragon Shrine, you're good. It helps unbrick hands. It helps get hands going. Foolish Burial is just good. Some people like double Dragon Shrine. Some people like Foolish and Dragon Shrine. Some people like double Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish Burial. It's up to you. And how you're running your deck, but I like this ratio and it's been working perfectly fine for me. So it's really good because Foolish can just send about anything you need. Next, 1 Upstart Goblin and 1 Monster Reborn. Make it a 39 card deck. Who cares? You're making your opponent, who cares about giving your opponents life points when you can beat them down with Blue Eyes White Dragon? Like, really. And you want a little bit more consistency in this deck. You have good draw power, you have good search power, but just a little bit more always goes a long way. If you want to take it out for something else, like I said, go right ahead. Monster Reborn staple. We have a lot of things in grave. We can bring things back from our opponent's graveyard and ours and do things with it. And 1, the Ultimate Creature of Destruction. I'm going to say run this card. I was thinking about cutting it, but from playtesting, even nowadays and even in the past, I like running this card at least as a 1 of because it just helps you out against certain decks. Against certain matchups, this card is MVP. And yes, you have to hard draw it, but you can easily get it out of the deck, like through hard drawing it. And it's just such a good card to have in this deck. Now, could you run it as a 2 of? Maybe, but that's up to you. It's saved my bacon more than enough times, I'll be honest with you. And it has won me games because against certain matchups and certain situations because of this card alone. And not a lot of people run it as much anymore. I understand why. But it's so versatile, I still like it in the deck. So that's the main deck, guys. Let us get on to the extra deck, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So for extra deck, guys, we run our Blue Eyes White Dragon Field Center and our Blue Eyes Seto Kaiba token. In addition to that, we run the 1 Primal Being token for our Nebaru. So that's your tokens there we run. For your synchros, we run 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, 1 Azure Eyes one Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, and the 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. If you want to run a second Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and cut something out, go right ahead. That would be my 16th extra deck card if I could run 16. 1 Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy. I still like the Galaxy Eyes package, which we'll talk about here. This is really good because this can help clear boards still, so you can steal something, pop, you know. Some people like it, some people don't. I still like it. It depends how you want to build your deck, but I find myself going for a lot of level 8 Exceed plays, and this is just a great package to run. 1 number 97 Dragobon. I can never pronounce this card. 1 number 100 Numeron Dragon. 1 number 92 Heartland Dragon Earth. This works with number 97, this package right here. For your links, we run Christian Haukri Fibrax, aka Needle Fiber, 1 Guard Dragon Elpie, 1 Guard Dragon Pisty, 1 Heraldic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, and 1 Sayuja Skull Dread. There's some cool combos you can do with this. If you want to look them up, you can. I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time, but this is just pretty much the some cool combos you can do with the deck. Elpie and Pisty are still decent. Heraldic Seal still good. Skull Dread, I like him. He's good if you're going for the combo, but I will admit there have been times I've thought of cutting him out because I just feel like he's more of, like, he's a more win more card than giving consistency to the extra deck. But that's up to you to decide if that's the way you want to play the deck. Like I said, there are certain cards I was thinking about running still in the deck. Like, if you want some other options, I'll be honest with you. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon is a 2 of is something I thought of. Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon is something I thought about running in the extra deck still. And also Divine Knight Dragon Felgrant is something I thought about running the extra deck still, but I decided I didn't have the space for these cards, so they didn't make the final cut, so to speak. But depending upon how you like playing the deck, hey, maybe you run those cards instead. But I just wanted to give you guys different options if you were curious. But that is the deck, guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Like I said, I love this deck to pieces. It is one of my most favorite decks of all time. I've always enjoyed playing it, and Seto Kaiba, he's one of my favorite characters in all of anime, and definitely my favorite character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile. And until next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. Remember to screw the rules and win games, guys. Until next time, good luck dueling to all of you guys. And screw the rules daily against your opponent, and you shall win. Take care, everybody. Go Blue Eyes White Dragon.